Your money is about to be rejected. This is because we're moving towards a social credit score system. This means you will receive either a number or a score. So if you say the wrong thing, like the wrong thing on social media, or don't do as you're told, like take the magic medicine, your score will go lower. And people with low scores won't be allowed to purchase certain items. This is all possible with a central bank digital currency, a programmable cryptocurrency that is entirely in the control of your government. So when your social credit score falls too low, your money will be programmed to be used against you. Central bank digital currencies allow for an unprecedented amount of control, discrimination, and coercion.
China's government is testing a new social credit score system which would rank its citizens based on their online behavior. Just the latest in this ever-expanding surveillance state.
This is the message that got you into such trouble?
Zhang Aija, a former school counselor, showed us the message she reposted on social media, which cost her her job, even her home.
It's incredible that these few paragraphs got you into so much trouble.
I was shocked, she said. Our country is going backwards. The post was an apparent jab at China's President Xi Jinping. Police showed up at her school to question her, and days later she was fired and forced to leave her school housing. This is the 21st century, she said, so why does it feel like a society with an emperor? In other countries, people can criticize, even mock leaders. We interviewed a woman who was fired from her job because of something she posted online. Are you surprised by that?
No, not at all. I think this has a great deterrent effect, and it's intended for that purpose.
We traveled to Shanghai to talk with China watcher Ken DeWashkin about that Chinese government proposal to evaluate the credit and the online behavior of netizens. It's a plan to rank citizens.
Everywhere she goes, Ouyang Haoyu is followed. What she buys, how she behaves, is tracked and scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system, and in one version now being tested, a person's reputation is scored on a scale of 350 to 950. And Haoyu, with a good score of 752, is okay with it. In fact, most people are.
It's a mechanism like pushes you to become a better citizen.
It's big data meets Big Brother, expanding how the government monitors, understands, and ultimately controls its 1.4 billion citizens. Thanks to advances in artificial intelligence and facial recognition, and a web of more than 200 million surveillance cameras.
Are people bothered by privacy concerns?
We think the lot of camera keep the safety is really good. We can accept it.
Companies are experimenting with the algorithms to help the government create the new national social credit system. The government also has pilot projects. In one, citizens are required to do hours of unpaid work to get benefits. And scores are docked for things like littering, a messy yard, gossip, even jaywalking. Video of offenders is shown on the local news. And information collectors like Zhou Aini are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. Like the man who carried a drunk person home. A good deed, she says. Good social credit gets rewarded with perks like cheap loans and travel deals. But a bad score means public shame and worse. Huang Huijun lost a court case and didn't pay. Now he's on a government blacklist. I can't buy airplane or train tickets, he says, and the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job or put kids in top schools. The social credit system will go nationwide next year, and few here are willing to criticize it, something that may pose a risk itself for a bad score and the life that comes with it. Janice Mackey-Frere, NBC News, Beijing. So what do you do if you have bad social credit? Well, for one, you talk about it on Weibo, which is like Twitter. There are forums for discredited people to vent and get advice. In Chongqing, we hooked up with Huang Huijun. He had a business until he was sued by a client, and Huang refused to pay 90 grand to settle it. So the court put him on a social credit blacklist, and things got way worse. He explains that being blacklisted means he can't buy airplane or train tickets. When he tries, a message pops up saying he's discredited. By the end of last year, blacklisted people were blocked from booking 23 million flights and 5 million high-speed train trips. And the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job, a loan, a hotel room, or put kids in certain schools. Then there's the public shaming. Photo galleries of blacklisted citizens. There's even an app that shows
journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
Dandan's criminal, academic and medical records will feed into her score, as well as state security assessments. Her shopping habits will be another measure. Her score could even change in real time, depending on what she puts in her trolley. Buy a lot of alcohol suggests dependence. Lose a couple of points. Buy a pack of nappies, gain a few, suggests responsibility. Late on mortgage payments or your tax return, lose a lot more.
B级950分 B级意味着你B级意味着你将来坐飞机呀、高消费呀，或者是什么贷款呐都不能做了，都不可以。
Zhang Yingjie co-signed a loan for a friend who later skipped out. He paid his share, but the local court didn't care.
我前2天去淄博，赶上暑假没有票了，我就得买这个头等舱，结果是说你信用度不够，不能买头等舱。我回来没办法，不能还是没有座位，回来坐的大巴，高铁不是3个小时4个小时就到了，大巴车得10个多小时。
4 million people have been blocked from buying high-speed train tickets over low social credit, and more than 11 million from buying flights. To raise his score, Zhang gets in line at a local community office to donate money the government says will go to charity.
多少？500。捐100的居多，再有捐1000的、600的、500的都有，都可以加分。
Zhang keeps track of his social score closely, but he doesn't keep track of where his donations end up.
你这个具体给谁完了钱？你问具体得问他，我也不知道这个事。
手写字吗？
我现在已经通过训写，通过捐款啊，通过做义工来给自己加分。
The system might have caused him to suffer, but Zhang is unwavering in his support for the government's push to score him.
这是通过这种制度来约束很多不自觉的人。
By 2020, China plans to track, rate, reward, and punish all of its citizens, essentially turning every personal experience into a transaction. Not that Zhang minds. He's got his high score back. At least for now.
现在通过做好人好事，通过这个捐款呐、加分呐，我现在高铁票能买了，终于成为正常人了。
With 1,000 points, and you can print out your report anytime. You lose points for things like jaywalking, littering, tossing cigarette butts, or spreading rumors. Cameras do a lot of the surveillance work, but it's pretty analog too, like posters that list the ways you can gain or lose.
Some claim the Chinese Communist Party's social credit system doesn't exist. Well, I'm here to tell you it does, but it's not how you think. Those that have low social credit scores are publicly shamed. But that's not all. It's only part of the comprehensive policing and surveillance apparatus, which also includes police drones, Skynet tracking to locate someone who made online comments about the government, and applications to geolocate those around you, as well as facial scans and real ID verifications everywhere you go. These all feed back into the social credit system where you are barred from loans, taking transportation, or owning a business. All of these are made to ensure that people do not speak, do, or to think to challenge the government, because the social restrictions are heavy burdens to bear. The CCP knows where everyone is at all times and what they're doing at all times. This is why they're lying to you to suggest they cannot track down a fentanyl network going out of China. It's simply they're unwilling to look. The goal is to police innocent people in China, not to crack down on mass criminal efforts. Share this video so more can be aware.
We can really scare the you-know-what out of the global population, and we can gain control. We can start doing things like vaccine passports, and we can restrict your travel. I mean, people ought to be very concerned, because now what are we going through? A potential bank crisis? Be very concerned about a central bank digital currency, where they can just turn on and turn off your ability to purchase certain goods based on your social credit score. That's what happens in China. Do we want that in the U.S.? I think there's certainly people, the technocrats in the U.S., that would like to see that. And with this banking crisis, all of a sudden we're insuring every deposit, no matter how large. Start asking some questions.
Let's take the example of WeChat. WeChat started as a messaging app. Then it transformed into Chinese Facebook, and then it added a ride-hailing service similar to Uber to its platform, and then it added banking services to its platform, and now you can use it as an ID. If you're living in China, you can file for divorce through this app. This will make your life very convenient, but at the same time, it also becomes very convenient for state security to track you. To combat message interceptions, they talk through emojis. A half-fallen rose means someone has been arrested. A dark moon means they are going to prison camps. A sun emoji means they are alive, and a flower means they have been released. Now combine cyber surveillance with Skynet, you get unimaginable power and control over 16% of the world's population. China calls it the social credit system. Whatever you do from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed is recorded. Based on your actions, your social credit score increases or decreases. If you praise the government publicly, donate blood, help the poor, engage in charity work, etc., your score increases. If your score is high, you'll get tax breaks, free gym, preference at hospitals, and if you do something which is considered to be wrongful by the government, the opposite happens. Due to the social credit system, people fail to look at the bigger picture as they are constantly busy improving their scores to avail the benefits which come with it. The ratings for every Chinese citizen are publicly available, and anyone can see them, completely eradicating their privacy and ruining their social life. If you raise your voice against the government, your score would decrease, and other people wouldn't know why your score is low. They might think it's low because you did something wrong, so they'd want to stay away from you. Soon, due to the fear of lower ratings and what others would think about them, similar to what happens on social media, citizens will refrain from any kind of independent expression, both on social media and real life, as this might lead to lower ratings, leading to a denial of basic human rights for them. The complete eradication of privacy helps the authorities to quash movements and protests against the government before they even start. According to many, China's mass surveillance is a grave new threat to freedom of expression and a violation of fundamental human rights.
So the latest in this dystopian outrage that is now all of China apparently is I once again cannot buy food. A couple days ago, my uncle and my cousin helped me get a cell phone that is linked to a Chinese bank card so that I could buy anything. But now, apparently, it has been flagged for some reason, and I have to pass facial recognition identity verification, which is insane, because all I want to do is just spend my gift card balance on this debit card. I can't believe I'm doing this. I have to open my mouth. Oh my god. Terrifying. And of course, because it was my cousin who set this up for me, I did not pass verification. I guess it's a good thing that the Chinese app is not racist. But now I once again can't buy anything.